without no further ado, we're going to hop into the Chicago Bears preview. Bears Cardinals this week, 3:25 p.m. Sunday. Who do we got, boys?
I don't know. First, let me start by saying I wish that all games were played at 3:25 in Central Time.
Why?
Because I could go out Saturday, I can get obliterated, I can wake up at 11:30, throw something in the crock pot, go back to sleep, and then wake up for kickoff. And then wake up and see how my fantasy football team went.
I'm all in on noon games.
All on noon, bro. I am all in on noon.
Every single week, and I'm happy.
I must stay up real late on Saturdays. I can't do it because then it gives me time to recover for the Monday work. I feel like when the Bears play at noon, like they usually do, and I have to go to a tailgate at 6, it's like I'm useless on Monday.
It's weird to have them start off with 2 primetime games. You never see that.
and this is I feel like these last 2 weeks were obviously primetime Monday night, and I obviously played the Packers at Lambeau. Now it's now we're going to throw you the Cardinals, who, they're terrible. How are we going to, I can't spin it any other way other than they're very bad at football, and if the Bears lose this, then it should be 10 fire alarm emergency in Chicago.
Yeah, the Cardinals have 3 absolute stars, and Johnson and Patrick Peterson and kind of Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, he's he's like the ageless wonder that I swear everybody always drafts in the first 5 rounds of fantasy football because he's going to catch 100 balls. And then it's the added on yardage for all of that.
I don't know why balls got.
I've been.
I'm floppy, bro.
You're loopy.
I'm a little loopy, flop.
But
so yeah, I can't, dude. But Arizona coming into the game has Sam Bradford, who's thrown 61 passes so far this season with 0 touchdowns, 0 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Obviously, I don't think that we see Rosen against us on Sunday. I think that's going to be a long way out here.
See, I think we do. I think,
really? If we kick their ass?
I think if, Bradford is that bad, what choice do they have?
Let me ask you one question real quick before you give me your why you think Rosen will come in. Do you think it would benefit Arizona to bring in Josh Rosen against this scary-ass Bears defense to possibly get this kid killed?
But see, if it's 28-0 at half, and they're rotating Mac in and out for saving him, I don't see why, the end of the third quarter, fourth quarter, you can't throw him in there to get a couple points.
What, for maybe 2 or 3 series or something?
Well, yeah, just to see the speed of the game. It's obviously he's played in preseason and he's played against, they do these joint practices, but there's nothing like an NFL Sunday.
They would only do that if we're kicking the absolute shit out of them. And
I totally see this happening. I totally see this happening.
Well, us kicking the complete shit out of them?
Do you really think that they're going to? They scored 6 points.
They've scored 6 points in the last 2 games, right? I agree. Yeah, I see that, but
really bad defense, average defenses as well. We're rated the top defense in Pro Football Focus.
Absolutely, I think that we're going to
28-0 at half. There's no excuse if they're hanging around.
Well, the offense hasn't given us anything to think that they could do that.
No, but their defense is bad too.
They are.
It's not
their
very
defense
good either.
bad. Seattle's defense ain't that great either.
What do we need to see out of the offense to improve this week?
The running game.
The running game,
all
dude.
About the running game.
Gotta run the ball.
But see, this is why I think it's going to be 28-0 because I think the Bears are good for a defensive touchdown on Sunday, and I think Jordan Howard's good for 2 in the first half because I think they're going to run. You think Mitch Trubisky is going to at least throw 1 touchdown the first? He has in the last 2 games.
The thing with when they hired Matt Nagy, all everyone talked about was the RPOs going on, and I'm at the point where it's just screw that because you don't want to see if Mitch is running the read option. Every defense is going to want to force him to run the ball so they can light his ass up. And why Mitch is going to make that right read, so why don't we just call the plays for Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen so he doesn't have to make that decision?
That's actually a really good point, Phat.
I got nothing for you there.
Yeah, that was very good, Phat. That made me a little fat.
But, do we really – this should not be a game.
No, it should be a game. We should come out with the high-powered offense that we have and how bad Arizona's defense is. We should come out. We should score immediately, and our defense will hold. Unless it's just a complete Chicago curse and Sam Bradford turns back the clock, and then hooks up with Larry Fitzgerald, or they have 2 badass catching running backs out of the backfield, Johnson and Edmonds. Yeah, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's if we know that Fangio knows that, he's going to take that away right off the bat.
And talking a little bit, too, about Nagy, you see the Chiefs' offense exploding. Where's that with us? We're not getting Trey Burton involved like they're doing with Kelsey, and we just need to figure out ways to get the guys we brought in this year the ball more.
Right, and the thing is, I understand that it's only been 2 games, and this is what we said at the live show last night. Like, we're not trying to hate on Mitch or anything like that by any means necessary. That's not what we're trying to do. I'm hating a little bit on the play calling as well, is because I'm looking at this. I've watched both Kansas City games this year. Mm-hmm. I've had the privilege to do that because I'm an ass, and I still have that. What do you call it on the DirecTV?
Oh, the Sunday Ticket?
Yeah. And I got to watch a couple of their games here, and their offense is just so smooth. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so smooth.
But this is my argument for all the people that are comparing it now. It's like, that's what we could be, but do we know if Trey Burton is going to be good as Travis Kelce? No, we don't. Mm-hmm. So, X that out, because Travis Kelce he's a Pro Bowler. He's one of the best tight ends in the league. Trey Burton is a guy who sparingly came in to play for the Eagles. He's a guy that they ran in certain sets. Okay. Then you got on the outside with Allen Robinson, a guy coming off an injury who's looked very, very, very good in these first 2 games. So maybe that's your big receiver on the outside that you could but where they don't have that guy is the Tyreek Hill comparison when it comes to Miller or Gabriel. Like, those guys are not Tyreek Hill. Mm-hmm. So I mean, Kareem Hunt, you could obviously swap out him and Jordan Howard, but it's a speed back in Kareem Hunt. And I look at the offense for the Chiefs, and sure, there's comparisons you can make, but I just don't know if any of these players even have the same skill set as a lot of those guys over there, or even the level of caliber of player as a Tyreek Hill or like a Travis Kelce. Mm-hmm. So,
well, that a fun thing to talk about real quick is obviously, Travis Kelce's a beast. Mm-hmm. We all know that. For whatever reason, man, it's like, when you see that one player on a team and you're like, man, I think that guy could be good. If he, is given the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel that way about Trey Burton.
Yeah, but
I feel that way.
It's a lot of things too. Like,
I don't feel we're targeting him.
If you look at the play calling too, like we talked about it last night, they need to get him more involved. But he also has to get open. Right. A lot of these wide receivers are not getting open. A lot of these route runners are not getting open either. And Mitch is getting happy feet in the pocket too and looking to check down early.
I feel like that's the thing. I don't even think these guys are being able to complete the routes.
But I feel like this offense with Matt Nagy is one read. So these guys are either they're open or he needs to drop it down and go. I feel like he's simplified it because he knows that Mitch is kind of stuck. Limited.
You know what that looks like to me? And I'm not trying to be a jag, but you know what that looks like to me? It looks like John Fox's offense last year.
Yeah, but like this, you got to look at like in hindsight of how long it took Alex Smith to figure this system out.
It took Alex Smith 2 years.
Right. So
technically,
the timeline's got to be. It's got to be longer for the offense, but by no means should they lose this game on Sunday, and they should blow the Cardinals out of the water in the first half, regardless of what Mitch knows, because you're going to have the Jordan Howard to lean on, and the offense for the Cardinals is terrible, and the Bears are stout defensively. The Cardinals should not score in the first half.
I think we're all in agreement here. I want Jordan Howard to run the ball 20 to 25 times.
All right, give it to him 30 times.
I want Tariq Cohen to at least run the ball at least 5 or 10. Right, 5 or 10 times. And catch some passes out of the backfield. I want to see some dual back sets.
Even put him in the slot would be fine.
Yeah, I mean, you got Gabriel, you got Anthony Miller, you got A-Rob, you got Burton out there. Like, I mean, I don't care where I just want those two involved because Jordan Howard is that guy when you give him the ball, that bruiser. You know what I'm saying? That bruiser that gets you the
wears people down over the course of a game.
So you start giving Jordan Howard the ball in the beginning of the game, hypothetically here, right? And then all of a sudden now you put your finesse guy. These guys are tired from getting their ass whipped from Jordan Howard's bruising, ability, and then you give the ball to somebody like Tariq Cohen out the backfield. Now they got to go chase this little son of a bitch and try to catch. Like that's how I would.
That's a picture perfect scenario.
Right, and that's how I kind of want it to be. Obviously, probably not going to be that way, but I could hope.
But there's another side of that, too. You can hand it to him 30 times, or you can say, my defense isn't going to let anything up, I can take more chances down the field too. I could see that happening.
I would like to establish a lead before I did something like that. I would like, because we have not seen the running game.
Like breaking out long passes is something when you're usually
all
up
our
anyway.
skill guys are like really pretty good, but not great. And
right.
The one guy that can be great is Jordan Howard, so that's who we got to just keep riding.
I think that we can have I think we actually do have two elite talents at two positions in the offense. I truly believe that Jordan Howard is an elite running back. I believe that. He's worked on catching out of the backfield, which me and him griped on, last year during this time. That just, God, man, his hands
I hated
like bricks.
I hated that narrative too, though, because I think he had two very high-profile drops that really kind of played into that narrative that he couldn't catch. Like, he wasn't a terrible pass catcher last year. I think he was just the victim of having two, because he had that one against Minnesota where he waltzes in and they could have won, and week one. So my opinion on that is he wasn't like Tariq Cohen out of the backfield, or he was middle of the pack, but I never thought he was that bad of a pass catcher. Like, in hindsight, like, two big drops always stick out in my mind, and other than that, I don't recall a lot of him dropping the football at a bad point. If he did, it was because he had a defensive back bearing down on him, and it wasn't going anywhere anyway.
Right, but I mean, an elite running back in Jordan Howard, and I do believe that Allen Robinson is an elite wide receiver in this league.
I can agree with that.
So I feel that we do have two elite guys that I feel need to be. I mean, I can't say shit because Monday night, Allen Robinson was utilized. He was targeted. He did have 8 receptions. So I mean that's good. Now. Let's start getting the ball into our elite players' hands here. Let's start figuring it out more and more.
If Mitch can take it from like 5 or 6 horrible mistakes to like 2 or 3,
yes,
we'll dominate all year.
Yes.
Yeah, and you could make an argument on Monday too. He could have had 4 picks. That game was sloppy as all hell from Mitch, and he grinded it out, 200 yards for 2 touchdowns and 2 picks, and I can't even blame him for the pick or the tipped one. I mean, that's just a great play by a defensive back and a defensive lineman. So, I mean, you got to take the good with the bad.
One he threw in the corner of the end zone that should have easily been picked.
At the end of the half.
But that's one of like the 5 or 6 just awful plays that he just needs to stay away from, and that'll come with time, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. So just getting out of the Bears' final predictions. You guys got final score predictions for Sunday? I mean, we should start doing this together. Like, maybe just doing some final score predictions and whatnot. Maybe loser buys beer or loser gets pizza one night or something. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Do we know the spread of this week's Bears game at all?
I do not know the spread.
We can look it up while we're kind of...
Yeah, we can look it up while me and Juice are really good at that bullshit. And so go ahead and look that up and we can figure it out.
I'm going to go ahead and say Bears 31, Cardinals 14.
Okay, all right.
I think I remember hearing like the spread was like 6.5 or almost 7, and trending up, somewhere around there.
You said trending up?
Yeah, like it was. I don't know.
All right, so I don't care what it is. I'm gonna take the Bears. I'm gonna go 35. I'm gonna hold out hope with you guys this week. I'm gonna hold out hope here. 35, Cardinals 10.
Okay.
Considering they've scored 6 points in their last 2 games, and this is a pretty badass defense they're going to be coming up against. So I say 35-10.
I'm going to go 31-3, and I think they get the field goal late.
You say 9 points to the first 3 games. Oh my God, I'd be so upset.
They're bad.
I know.
It's David Johnson and Sam Bradford and a wheelchaired Larry Fitz.
Go to Sports Mockery for Chicago sports news and commentary from those who know it best, the fans.